Good morning, good morning for those who are watching this in the morning, and good afternoon, good evening, good day to everybody else. Today is week 4 of cosmetology school. I am very excited about coming up on a month. It's strange how fast I feel like this is going. I think it's because I'm only coming in 3 days a week and then I have 4 days off, that I still feel like my life is my life. I don't feel like my life is overwhelmed by school. And I think that's I'm good with that. I am definitely good with that. But as a result, I have kind of crunched a lot of work into my 4 days off, because technically they're not 4 days off. They're just 4 days not in school. So I now realize I was never that busy doing hair. I had just enough clients to sustain a living, but not to be like overly booked and busy to where I felt like I was overworked. And I think that is probably because I didn't have a license and I was just a hair braider. Funny, I said that at the salon this weekend, and one of the clients was like, "You are not just a hair braider, you are the hair braider." So I was like, "Yes, I'm the hair braider, sorry." So I am the hair braider at the salon. So that's my specialty, braids and locks. And that's been the bulk of what I've been doing. Box braids, knotless braids, goddess braids, 2-strand twists, kinky twists. I just did kinky twist this weekend. It's been a while since I've done that. And retwisting locks, retightening micro locks. That is like my wheelhouse right now. And I said to myself, once I graduate cosmetology school, I feel like the owner of the salon. I feel like she's just gonna be like, "Okay, now you're doing this, now you're doing that, now you're doing this, and now you're doing that." So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that I will be able to do more. Just this past weekend, some girls will come in and get their hair braided down so that they can wear a wig throughout the week or whatever. And a girl, she came in and she got her hair braided down, and then she asked me to leave some leave out because she has a U-part wig. And so I braided her hair down, but the service is only a braid down. It's not wig install, it's not styling, it's not doing anything like that. But I think she expected me to do those things. And she was like, "Can you just, flat iron the leave out?" And one of the other stylists in the salon was actually a teacher for cosmetology school. And she let us know, like, you cannot flat iron hair without a license. You can't even flat iron leave out without a license. I can't shampoo your hair. I can't blow dry your hair. I can't flat iron 2 little pieces of hair that's sticking out of your wig. I cannot do that. And it let me know, it just solidified everything for me even more. Like, thank God I'm in school. So like in 7 months, I can just flat iron your leave out, because it's like so simple. And funny enough, when I researched it, it says you can flat iron your own leave out, and you can flat iron a friend's hair who is not paying you. But if your friend is going to pay you for flat ironing her leave out, your friend or you have to have a license. I'm like, so I only have to have a license because someone is paying me, but if I'm doing it for free, and maybe there's some liability legally around that I just am not aware of yet. Maybe there's some type of legality around, if she pays me, she can sue me. And if she doesn't pay me, she can't sue me, because I don't know. But yeah, so, and I don't know if that's just in California. I feel like that might be just across the board. But I feel like I'm learning every day that I'm in the salon about the things I can't do in that space. So like I said, it's good to know that I'm going to school, and I'm glad I didn't just opt out for the hairstyling license, because that would have been only 500 hours. But I'm like, no, I just want it all. I want the HBIC. I want the big baby. I don't want to have to go halfway and then get out and realize I want to do something and I can't. I just want the full license. Just give me everything and then get out of my face. So my days off were busy. I have clocked in 18 and a half hours on the online version of school. I'm so happy I have online access now. And the online version is no joke. It is clocking every minute, every hour you are on that computer, and you got to be active. If you walk away to go to the bathroom for 20 minutes, that clock is going to stop on you. Like, you are not here. It knows. So yeah, it's been interesting, but I have clocked in 18 and a half hours, and I've figured out a way to do that even if I am multitasking, getting a lot done. And I love the fact that the textbook has a read aloud version, so I don't have to sit and read the book with my eyes. I turn it into an audio book and I can listen to it, and it still tracks my hours. But I do have to still click around on the computer, so I can't just listen to the book and just, I mean, I can't listen to the book and cook dinner. Like, I was doing that, but I had to have my laptop next to the stove. If I heard something that sounded good, I click, I highlight, and if you're idle more than 15 minutes, it times you out. So I just remember that every 5 to 10 minutes, I'll backspace, re-listen to it, or highlight something, or leave a note. Like, you have to be active on the computer. But it feels good to have 18 hours. I need to have 45 hours to catch up on the hours I didn't have. But I am almost caught up on the chapters. The chapters, I already went over chapters 1 and 2 in a previous video. But chapter 3 and 4 is what I will recap on this ride really quickly, because I'm still on chapter 5 right now, which is infection control, which is a biatch. Okay? Infection control is no joke. I can't even talk about it right now. So I'm just going to stick to chapter 3 and 4. Chapter 3 is focusing on communication, whether that be the overall professionalism of communication. So if you're going to be late, letting your client know, hey, I'm running about 15, 20 minutes behind. You can come later, or you can wait in the lobby and I will come get you. Little things like that. Needing to reschedule, having a communication set up for those types of things. It also talks about just how to communicate. Not just you need to communicate, but the bedside manner of it all. If you have a client that is 30 minutes late, how do you communicate with that person that they need to reschedule? How do you go about relaying the information that you have a policy, and if you are not on time, you will have to reschedule, or you will be charged a late fee. So, the sun is killing my eyes. But, how do you communicate with a client that you are enforcing a policy, or that this is the policy? Are you like ignoring their texts? Are you, being standoffish? I think we all have had that stylist that has been a little stank or that is not professional in the best way that you would like. I'd like to consider myself a professional. I take pride in being professional. I take professionalism very serious. I don't even communicate a lot of things. I have a script. For a lot of things. So these are not my own words. This is a script I have come up with, and I just give you the script. I still try to be personable with people, but if you're late, I'm sorry. I have another appointment set up. We're gonna have to reschedule because your appointment is gonna dip into theirs now. So unfortunately, we have to move you to Tuesday. You want Tuesday? I have Tuesday available. Whatever the case may be. But it just speaks on the overall tactfulness of communication and how communicating well keeps your clients coming back. And chapter 4 focused on health, the health of the professional. And that is what I spoke about just last week when I was talking about my wrist hurting and rest and recovery for stylists. So it didn't say anything about like soaking your hands necessarily, but it talked about just drinking water. It talked about hydrating yourself. It talked about how our bodies are made up 70% water, and that we need to be replenishing those fluids. And coffee is not water. Juice is not water. We need water. We need some pure water filling our bodies throughout the day. Even if you got to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom, but you drink that water. You drink it. Because our jobs are so taxing. It talks about eating healthy, eating nutritious foods, making sure you are eating a balanced diet, making sure that you are still working out and staying active, even if it's 15 minutes a day. Like get that heart rate pumping, get that heart rate up. One thing that I loved in particular is it just reminded the stylists about their posture and physicality when they're working, standing up straight, not locking your knees when you're standing, how to have your posture when you're sitting. Make sure your shoulders aren't scrunched up. Relax your body. And a lot of this stuff I feel like I learned in music when I was a musician. I guess I still am a musician because I still know how to play my flute, but I don't play it a ton. I just played it for an audition like a year ago. But that is one thing where it's like your posture really matters when you're playing an instrument, and your body is an instrument that you are using when you are doing someone's hair. So making sure, like I always notice when I'm doing braids, if I start to slouch, my whole back is done for. So it may feel like more work to sit up straight, but it saves you a lot of injury. It saves you from getting injured in those situations. I don't think I mentioned that the GPS said my ride this morning is 30 minutes. What is going on? I don't know if I did, because I've been thinking about this, but last week it was an hour and 30 pretty much every day. I don't know if it's holidays, like the holiday, like people leaving for Thanksgiving, or people just taking off, people already out. I don't know, but thank God I am so yes to 30 minutes to and from. Amen. But back to the overall health of the stylist. I just appreciate that the book covers that, because I was just saying nobody tells you that you need to get hand massages and you need to do certain things to take care of yourself. My grandmother had arthritis, and she said it came from a lot of doing hair and not really taking care of herself. So I know I can be one to try to just push through, but this weekend I took that into account because I was a busy bee. And on Friday I did a lock retwist and I did some kinky twists, and then Saturday I did 3 retightenings, and then Sunday I did 2 retightenings and some cornrows. And I made sure that I had at least a 30-minute break in between each appointment. That's what it also says as well. Like that 15 to 30-minute break between each client is a chance for you to disinfect. It's a chance for you to wash your hands, but it's also a chance for you to just take a breather. But remembering that after about 5 hours, it's your lunch break. It's time for lunch. So if your first appointment takes 4 or 5 hours, which most times box braids do, after that one, you need to stop and eat. Take 30 minutes, eat something. Eat something nutritious. Eat a bowl of fruit. Eat a chicken salad. And then you can take your next appointment. But we can't neglect our health in the process of trying to get this money, because we're not going to live to spend it. So, that is my recap of those chapters. One part about chapter 3, client communication, that I thought was interesting is they talked about conducting a consultation. And we do a lot of consultations for Sisterlocks. And I love the Sisterlocks training in particular for that reason, because taking the Sisterlocks training is actually what taught me how to do a consultation. And we did a mock consultation during that class. So I truly appreciate that, because that, I think, helped me master my professionalism even more. But the online version is not playing games when it comes to the homework and the assignments. I think I already stressed this, that there is a quiz after every section, and then there is a final exam at the end of every chapter. But not all the quizzes are just answer these 5 multiple choice questions. Like, one of the quizzes is get a family member or a classmate and conduct a client consultation with them on camera, and then upload that video. What? Y'all, do y'all think I have all this time? I'm not mad at it, because I think it's great. It's great that you're making us get all interactive, but it's like, come on, stop this. This is a lot. And then another one is a client calls you and says they're going to be late, but it's going to dip into your next appointment. Record yourself on audio replying to the customer saying that you are going to need to reschedule. Also notify them of the policy or something like that. I'm like, what? This is a lot, because now I got to record. Like, I have 3 assignments that I skipped. You can go back to them. But I skipped because I have to get somebody else to join me on this assignment. And they're not giving you no excuses, because they're like, ask a family member or a friend or a classmate. They like, you got classmates, so you better call, you better ask somebody. You better ask somebody. So, yeah, the assignments are wilding. They are wilding out. So I'm going to try to do those today. I don't have any appointments scheduled for today. My client for tomorrow canceled. I said I wasn't going to take appointments after school, but this is one of my loyal clients who only comes in town. She's a traveling nurse, but she's based in LA. But her flight got canceled due to the shutdown. And then she wasn't able to reschedule or anything like that. So I have the free time this week. So I'm gonna grab my husband, and he said he'll help me do these consultations. So it should be fun role playing. I guess I'm an actress. I do this. We have a self-tape set up, so it'll be easy to just get in the mode for that. It just still feels like y'all are doing the most with this assignment. But like I said, I'm not mad at it. It's a way to hold us accountable. I'm not doing 1,500 hours like most people anymore. We're only at 1,000 hours here in California for the cosmetology program. Don't have to do the practical in the exam. So if I need to get creative, if they need to get creative with the theory aspect to just make sure that we're on point, then I can respect that. And I will respect that, and I will do the assignment full out. And that is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna get on the road. I'm gonna play this audiobook. I'm gonna listen to chapter 5 again, because chapter 5, like I said, is whooping my butt. It's talking about viruses and bacteria and fungi and microbiomes and biofilms and parasites and cross-contamination, and how does a virus transmission. Oh, I was not a science kid. I'm not a science person in that way. Like, science stuff does not excite me. It overwhelms me. So the fact that they're getting so in depth with this is overwhelming, and it's also the longest chapter so far. It's like long. It's so much information. I believe chapter 4 talked more about vitamins and minerals and vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, and what do all these vitamins do for the body, and why you need to make sure that your diet consists of these vitamins. But chapter 5 is more about cleanliness and washing your hands, sneezing into your arm, when it's time to call out sick, how to identify when your client might have an illness, is talking about pimples and pus, and it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. I'm overwhelmed just trying to highlight all the stuff I just said, and I've read the chapter 3 times already, and I feel like I need to read it like 2 to 3 more times, because we get to retake the quizzes as much as we like. And so these other chapters, I've taken the quiz once and got a 9, got like 4 out of 5 or 6 out of 7, and I'll just retake it to try to get 100. But at the beginning of every chapter, they test you to see how much you know before you even get started. Before chapter 5, I got 0 out of 0 correct. Nothing. I knew nothing. So I'm starting from a blank slate with this chapter 5. So pray for me, y'all. And we shall chat after class today. I think we're doing gel nails. That'll be fun. Hello. That is a wrap on day 10 of cosmetology school. No, I did not get implants. These are my pumps. I have invested in a whole new wardrobe. All black shirts and black pants. I bought some black sneakers. And at first I was like, they want us to wear all black to school, and I did not have any all black anything. But then I was like, I actually like this all black look as a stylist, like just embracing the black. Of course, there's nothing wrong with wearing bright pink to work, but I think the all black just gives a cleaner look. So I think I'm actually going to wear this when I'm going to work, and just making this my work uniform. And these shirts were cheap. They were like $6 on Amazon. But I realized that sometimes when I'm doing hair, I'm wearing some of my cute stuff. Of course, it's like athleisure type stuff, but it's like still cute stuff. And my clothes are getting messed up depending on what type of products I'm using on the person's hair. So it's like, I'd rather have like just a plain black $6 shirt. So if it gets messed up, it's not a big deal. But today was interesting because we went over facials. I thought we were doing gel nails, but I think that's tomorrow. So today we went over facials, basic facials, and funny enough, I did facials last week when our instructor was out, but today she gave instruction on facials and went just a lot more in depth on the different steps from cleansing to remove makeup, then actually doing a deep cleansing. She taught us a lot of massages, how to apply the product, the cleanser, from the neck going up and down here and here, and using that massage method in that direction, which is helping lift up the face. So she gave a lot of just suggestions on the best direction to massage, always going upward to not pull the skin down but to lift the skin up. So she gave us a lot of massage techniques. One she called was playing the piano, which was doing something like this, and then I can't do it on my own face, but something that just involves something like that. I don't know, I look ridiculous trying to mimic it on my own face, but I actually don't think I would mind giving facials. I've been enjoying the facial conversation. I don't know if I said previously that I probably wouldn't. I know I said I'm not really interested in giving pedicures, that's not my thing, but facials I'm not mad at. I really enjoyed giving the massage. That's something I really enjoyed. We just watched the demo in class, but I practiced doing the massage technique on my mannequin. But that's the only part I enjoyed about the pedicure, which was the massage aspect. So I thought it was interesting that I actually enjoyed just being able to do certain things with the massage, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that's something that feels good to me personally. So who knows, maybe one of these days I'll start offering facials. But sometimes I'm also thinking about what I already do and how to further enhance and incorporate certain things. And sometimes I'm just like, that's just weird. I'm gonna braid your hair and then give you a facial. Like, how does that work? I think it aligns more with like barbers who they cut your beard and then they exfoliate and then they give you a massage. So sometimes I'm just trying to think about how all these things come together so that I'm not just offering weird, unnecessary services. And then when you're offering facials, you have to have separate products. You have to know quite a bit more about skincare. You have to understand the different skin types. And sometimes that makes me a little nervous because I don't want nobody breaking out on my behalf. I don't want anyone's skin to become inflamed. And the extraction part does make me uncomfortable. Extracting any type of residue from the skin. Like the girl today, she was getting those pimples together. So that was a little... Maybe I don't want to offer facials. I think I just want facials. But it's a nice idea. But yeah, the extraction part gets me. I don't want to be puncturing anybody's skin. Like the girl, one of her pimples popped a little and it started bleeding. Like that would make me nervous. It's not that I'm not good with blood. I just don't want to deal with blood. It's not something I want to deal with. I don't want anything to do with blood or pimples or pus. Yeah, that's just not my jam. So I'm kind of retracting what I just said. But facials it was fun to do in class. And who knows, maybe one day I'll get into it. But for the sake of school, it was fun. It was nice. And it just, you know, taught me a lot more about my own skin and the steps I should take to get my skin in a better, more healthy condition. So I'm not mad at that at all. And then we had about 30 minutes left in class after the demo. The demo took quite a while. It pretty much took the entire class. So I hopped online and continued with chapter 5. I'm still on chapter 5, infection control, and took a few quizzes. Got hundreds on my quizzes, so I feel good about that. Some of the quizzes right now are just about matching vocabulary. So knowing what pathogens are, what's the difference between bacteria and a virus, HIV and AIDS, knowing the difference between the two and how one leads to the other and how they are spread, how these different diseases and viruses and bacteria are spread, and when to or I guess how to prevent from furthering the spread of these things. It also talks about just client questionnaires and what those consultations are really for. To ask the client if they're taking any medications, if they are diabetic, if they have high blood pressure, if they're pregnant, if they're nursing. So certain things like that matter. I didn't even know that when you're nursing, you can't exfoliate your skin, or you can, but there's certain products. I know there's obviously certain products you can't use while nursing, but exfoliating, it just never like clicked to me. I didn't actually get a facial while I was pregnant, or I haven't had a facial since. It's been a few years since I've had a facial, but I did get a massage, a prenatal massage, and everything they used was baby safe. But yeah, today was not a busy day. So like I said, I was able to log in and get some chapter 5 work done. Clocked in 30 minutes. So I have 19 hours of class so far. Still so many to go. I have to get to 500 by July. But right now, there is no rush to catch up. I just need to do 2.5 hours a day. So I've already got my 30 minutes in. My baby boy turned 11 months. Today is 11/11, and my son turned 18 months today. So me and hubby and baby are going to go to Lucille's to celebrate 18 months as parents and obviously 18 months of life, but he doesn't know, so he just gonna go with us and we gonna eat. And then when I get home, I'll probably clock in an hour of work, an hour of studying while he's taking a nap. I might just try to knock out all 2 hours, because his nap is usually like 2 hours, 2.5, sometimes 3 hours. If he can do 2.5 hours, I can knock out all 2 hours and then just kind of relax for the rest of the evening and get some sleep, just get some rest. But I love how this program is not so like, it's very lax, and we're learning. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I feel like there's no pressure to get all the information. I feel like it's all coming. I should be getting my kit this week. I asked about that. So they said they're gonna let me know. They said they're a little delayed when it comes to packaging and putting together the kits. So we will see. I'm still learning. I have the online access, and I feel like that's the most important part. At least for right now, that I'm already clocking in the hours and already getting the studying in and learning the important aspects. So that's where I'm going to put my time and my energy. Someone asked me in the comments why I cut my sister locks. I will do a separate video on that probably tomorrow. Long story short, I did a big chop 2022, I think. Yes, 2022. Big chop. I got my Sisterlocks in 2018. Yes, because 2015. I think I got my locks in 2015. Yes, because I had them for 7 years. Yes, I got my locks in 2015. I loved my Sisterlocks, but long story short, I was acting and I thought I needed a change. I thought my hair was getting in the way of opportunities I wanted to book as an on-camera actress. And then when I was booking, my hair just became a complication every time I got in the hair and makeup department. It was kind of like, what are we gonna do with this? We gotta cover it with a wig. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. And it felt like it was getting in the way of me being able to play this character or that character. But I'll get into depth, a lot more in depth on that and why I was wrong about that and why I'm still glad I cut them, because I started retightening my own hair during the pandemic and that was exhausting. And then once I got pregnant, I was so happy I didn't have hair. And now that I am a nursing mom going to school, I'm still glad I don't have hair. But I am growing my hair out because I am getting my Sisterlocks back. Very soon, I am going to install them myself. So I'll be doing a video on that. I also felt like the first set I had was too small. So I would like to go a little bit larger. Still micro, still Sisterlocks, but just a little bit larger. I'm thinking 3/8 size. They were like, some of them were tiny, like some of them started to pop, some of them started to break, and I was combining them and my grid was all over the place. But like I said, I am going to get into that much more in depth later, and I'll be able to do a video showing you my self install. So I'm excited about that as well. But right now, I'm just focusing on school, focusing on learning as much as I need to learn so that come July, I'm ready for the exam and I can pass it on the first try. And I was told that infection control is a huge part of that exam, and I can see why. And the instructor today said that actually they stress it so much more and they're putting more of those questions on the exam because in the past few years, like the past decade or so, stylists and professionalism have been slacking on the infection control aspect of the job. Not like a lot of businesses have been getting fined for not keeping things clean. So I don't want to be that person. So I'm gonna go because it's gonna be time for me to have my lunch at Lucille's. Thank you for listening if you're still here, and I will update you on day 11 tomorrow and what we are doing. I believe it's Gel X nails, but I was wrong this morning. I'm gonna plug in the calendar. I think I took a video today so that you guys can see what we have going on this week up until Thanksgiving. But thanks again for listening, and talk to you later.